Progress. The guest speaker, Comrade Ralph Gonzalez, Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Featured speaker, political leader and Prime Minister, Philip J. Pierre. Plus a celebrated cast of singers and performers. Delegates, supporters, well-wishers, all are invited to this 74th annual conference of the SLP at Bellevue Combined School, Vieux-Fort North on Sunday, 20th October from 3 p.m. The St. Lucia Labour Party, putting you first.
Get ready because the semi-professional football league playoffs are here. Feel the rush, live the intensity, and catch all the action as 8 district leagues face off for glory. It's happening under the lights of the Demi-Plane Field from 6:30 p.m. Saturday, October 19th, first qualifier. In Tier 2, South Castries takes on Ancillary. In Tier 1, Castries Central battles Grosley. On Sunday 20th, the Eliminator. In Tier 2, Roseau clashes with Vieux-Fort. In Tier 1, Denry squares off against Leclerc. The road to championship continues on October 23rd, and it all culminates with the epic finale on October 26th. Tickets are just $20 or grab a weekend pass for $30. Don't miss your chance to witness history at the first ever SPFL Championships.
Yes, he's round the last defender, under his right foot, and it's a goal!
From the time I knocked my knee, I think the eyesight go in.
But what's your knee have to do with your eyes?
Well, that's why I came for a checkup. Côté Cots Optical ou pas besoin d'appointement, avec examination yo toujours free. Docteur a bien indiqué en travail. Ou ça joindre lunettes ou à ce qu'on dit. Avec si on est 4 discount NIC, ou kay joindre 50% discount plus. Changer. Frame pour lunettes ka commencer à $1. Cots Optical, on jésus moi. Higher purchase là, on jésus non moi.
It's an anniversary celebration like none other. Rev Up St. Lucia celebrates its first anniversary with a big old school and country and western dance party. Saturday, October 26, 2024, upstairs the Castries Market from 8 p.m. Come dressed in your Rev Up colors of black and red and win big prizes. On the night, 3 people will have the opportunity to win $1,000 cash. Yes, 3 people will win $1,000 each.
Turn the lights down low.
Dance to sweet music and enjoy the good vibes all night long by some of St. Lucia's best DJs. Look out for St. Lucia's #1 country and western DJ, DJ Tim Tom, the entertainer, DJ Leroy, and the old school and country music master, Andre Paul. Admission to this big first anniversary party is only $20. 3 grand prizes of $1,000 cash will be given away on the night. Security will be tight and the bar will be revved up solid. Saturday, October 26, 8 p.m. Country and old school party upstairs the Castries Market. Come rev up yourself with us as we celebrate 1 year of revving up the world on 97.1 FM. You can't afford to miss out on this one. So be there.
Watch this.
Oh, not that.
New style, new dance.
You're watching MBC.
I'm so into you, being just a friend.
watching MBC.
We were having. Are we good there now? Good. Okay, folks, my mic was muted. Unfortunately, I did not realize my mic was muted, and it is quite evident that none of you probably heard me. So I just want to say once again, welcome to another episode of the program. Can I help you? I'm your host, Richard Frederick. And with me is no other than my co-host, the man himself, Albert Fridges. Good night, Albert.
Good night, Richard.
Sakafet for you.
I think that you had a good week.
Yes, the week has been good. God has been good to me. And I'm just hoping it continues on that trajectory.
Wonderful.
Yes, indeed. As usual, let me say good night to a couple people. I want to say good night to Pages in New York. Pages, yes, I know you're on. Let me say good night to all those people on Eastern Parkway, Owen Alcindor, Charmaine, Richie, and all the others. Special good night. The guys on Tapscott Street, good night to you. Good night to my sisters in New York, Frances, Sophia Bia. Good night to Cheryl Morgan over in London, or in England rather. Let's say good night to the Team No Sleep, DJ Makla, Fabian, Delmer, and all the others. And whilst in England, I want to send a special good night to a lovely couple. Could you put the picture up on screen for me, please? To this lovely couple, Rosella and Martin Monrose, who are celebrating their 37th wedding anniversary today, October 17th. Today is the 17th, right?
It is, yes.
Yes. So they are celebrating the 37th wedding anniversary. A special good night to both of you. Well, good morning, rather.
That's good batting.
Yes, they've batted well.
Yes.
Leave that script on, that picture on. What do you think accounts for the longevity of a marriage like that?
Well, Richard, I think there has to be a lot of compromise.
Yes.
There has to be a lot of compromise because
Yes.
two people get together and they obviously are not necessarily of the same mind on everything.
They will never be. I
Yes.
mean, we are by nature heterogeneous characters.
Yes. So there are times when you just have to accept that, look, I'm gonna lose this one, just so that there can be peace in the valley.
Yes, but Albert, I was watching a clip and I showed it to Dania, and essentially they interviewed about 3 or 4 men consecutively. I don't know if it was show or if it happened through inadvertence or otherwise, but they asked each gentleman, how long have you been married for? 10 years plus. I think it was a cruise, and you had to be married over 10 years to qualify, whatever. And all of them said, all in a nutshell, if you want to marry, you will listen to your wife.
Yes. Because when I was saying, Richard, that
Yes.
you have to accept that you're going to lose this one,
Yes.
I meant that you're going to lose this one and the next one, as from the male perspective.
You will lose all. Be prepared to lose all.
Yes.
If you want peace.
Peace. Yes.
And that's just the way it is. So, Martin and Rosella, a special good morning to you again. And may the Lord bless and keep you. And whatever the ingredients are for a good, peaceful relationship, one basically embraced in longevity, you definitely have that recipe to share with the younger generation.
Yeah, we'll have to get them. We'll have to get them to talk about it.
Yes, indeed.
I can't be talking about it, neither you.
All right. right, Albert. But I'm not qualified. Me not qualified. No,
I said that.
We're papa about Sano.
I took myself out first, but I'm saying that these the Monroses.
Yes.
Right, with their 39 years under their belts.
37.
37 years. Okay. I mean, that is fantastic. So they can talk about it.
Indeed. All right. I want to say good night to a couple more people here. Robert Alexander. Coney. Robert Alexander, a.k.a. Coney of Daniel Riviere. Good night to you. Good night to Miss Madry. Miss Madry, good night. I'm hoping that tomorrow everything will work out. Good night to you. Good night to your granddaughter, Cherise. Good night to Vic. Beltid, Boswe. I also want to say good night and happy birthday to Natuki, Bird Boss. Somebody called me and told me that today is your birthday. So I'm sending you special birthday greetings, Natuki. I hope you enjoy. All right, my brother? Jackie and Miss Sidoni, good night to you. Nusen Kwa and all the residents of the CDC, good night to you. Good night. Gordon, can I extend my condolences to you? The Almighty never gives us a burden to carry without giving us the requisite strength. So rest assured, if man does not have your back, I always say the Almighty does. Okay? Clifford, good night. Cletus Peter, good night to you. Marcella Raymond, good night. Mahoney Oje and all the others. Wilma Amede down in Labrie, good night. The Sewaks, good night. Kisera, Menassas, Leonard, and all the others. A special good night to all of you. Kayla Smith, Ria Cruz, and all the others. Good night. Pinky Didier, good night to you, my girl Karen Crafton. Good night. Folks, Divine Deterville, Chantal St. Clair, Nigel Leisure Baptist, good night. And of course, the man Tunde Flood over in St. Kitts Nevis. Folks, once again, I feel the necessity to address the coconut vendors, the fish vendors, and those vendors who operate in Castries City, especially those in the William Peter Boulevard. I want to start off by saying this. I have never ever been against any vendor, and I'm not prepared to be against any vendor. I will never do anything to prevent anyone from earning an honest dollar to pay their bills. No. How can anybody be against that, by the way? How can I, in good conscience, be against persons trying to make a dollar to make the bill, to pay the bills? I can't. But folks, there's this old saying that it is never what is done, it is how it is done. And I remember as a minister, when I almost punctured my eye by the Ave Maria School by a piece of steel left by a vendor, which formed part of the vending apparatus. I said, no, we need to regularize that and to make the city a safer place for pedestrians when vendors are gone. And so I started the construction of the vending booths around the city. I did. And I want to stop here, pause it to see each and every vending booth you see around the city, I, Richard Frederick, built it. Okay? I, Richard Frederick, built it. Whether it is this term or in my former term. When the United Workers' Party was in office between 2016 and 2021, they did not build not one vending booth. I built them all. So when I said don't touch my vendors, it is because on 2 consecutive Mother's Day, or Mother's Days rather, employees of the employed by the United Workers' Party, or rather the United Workers' Party government, took their trays, the vending trays, the benches, the stools, and everything else, whatever else they needed to have sold, to have vended, they were taken and thrown away. Thrown away. And I felt this was heartless. I felt it was heartless. I felt it was unconscionable, because there is no way I will be a minister of government. I will be the district representative of Castries Central, and anybody would take your stuff and throw it. I remember, again during that period, persons passing and selling their wares in trolleys. Those were seized and thrown away. That was the heartlessness of the last administration, because it had to take a government without a conscience, to do that to vendors. 2 consecutive Mother's Days. I came in, what did I do? I built booths. On the first occasion, during my first term, return more booths. Now I'm ordering vending facilities, mobile vending facilities, to uplift the standard on which our people ply their trade. That is what we are about. It's about giving a comfortable environment. It's about reserving the aesthetic appeal of our city, whilst we balance out the people's right to earn a living. I have said, and I will repeat this. I will repeat again. Ou pasa ni yon nom, ou ka di ki kote vendor, mais tout vending bouffe ki ka suisse li ki fey. E ka cholman, i a order a lot V mobile vending booths that ou sa just pour machine, attaché, i ka oule, ek ou sa vend, ek bagay la kay trop pli bel. Ki man ya ou ka di nom sa la code vendors? I am not, and I will never be. But you see, folks, everything must be regulated. Everything done must be done within the sphere of comfort, cleanliness, in a healthy environment, and whatever else comes with it, to make it conducive to the relevant environment. You know, if that is not done, Castries will become a dump. If vending is permitted anyway, just take your coconuts and go and sell in the middle of Bridge Street, or go and sell in front of government buildings, or go and sell your fish in the boulevard. Castries will become a dump. And I'm sure none of you want to see Castries a dump. Look at the pictures that represented what existed by the print tree. It was like a ghetto. It was like a ghetto. So much so, the opposition said we were ghettoizing Castries. Came in, tried to regularize it, build nice alternatives to them. Then they are saying something else. You know, and folks, each and every person must shoulder a certain degree of responsibility. This is our country. This is our city. We rely heavily on tourism. Yes, we want to make a dollar, but let us create the enabling environment to do so. We want a city that is attractive. You know? You say, I sell my coconuts, I sell my fish there. What will the city look? Put up a tray anywhere. If it's not regulated, people will go and put a tray in the middle of the roundabout. Those things have to be regulated. Everyone must play their part. Now, the fish vendors. You know, You all must understand that, look, where you all are operating now is no good. It's unsightly, it's unhealthy, it's aesthetically disgustful, and basically you want the fish being sold there is not being done in accordance with good health practices. That's a fact. So we can no longer, in addition to that, we are about commissioning the Box Pack project. I visited it last Friday. I am very pleased as to what I see, but I have to ensure that I give those fish vendors an alternative. Folks, look at what is happening by the market where the guys vend fish. Look at this. Albert, what do you think of this, man?
Richard, if I can just tell you that personally, I do not buy fish there. And when I'm driving past, I always take a glance and see what's going on there. And these guys, they have nice fish, you know.
Yes.
They have, like, there's this snapper, this long snapper, big long snapper, and that's very tasty, you know. And I have not eaten that in a while, and I would like to buy. And sometimes they have it, but I do not buy it because it is, as you said, it's unsanitary, right? It's unsightful, unsanitary. I just cannot imagine myself going and get fish there to go and cook. But with what the initiative that you've taken and the fisheries there, that new I will go and buy fish there. I will, as long as they keep it nice and clean and sanitary, right? I will go and buy fish there.
Exactly. Now that's what I'm saying, Albert. You know, you have a nice environment. You have a nice environment. There we're going to have running water, potable water. We are going to have ice. You know, so basically the environment would be extremely conducive for fish vending, you know, as opposed to what currently exists. So I showed the pictures of me meeting. I called them to a meeting. I indicated to them, look, gentlemen, those are pictures of me meeting them earlier this year. You could show the others. I explained to them that, you know, this can no longer be tolerated. And so whilst we are doing something to get them out of there, we started the construction of a fish vending facility. Could you show its current state, please? Good. We are going to have a really nice, this is just the commencement. All of this, where you see this stall there, this is going to continue along the jetty with vending booths all over. There's going to be ice in there, potable water, toilet, and everything inside of there. So basically, you know, you will buy fish in a healthier, cleaner, and more aesthetically appealing environment.
So when you're going home with your fish, you know, shall we pose?
That's correct.
Yes.
You know, and so that is what we are asking for. We are asking for cooperation. We cannot continue having castries nasty as it is. I mean, one morning I was driving and one of the guys actually stopped me. A guy was walking and he stopped me and he said, Minister, it's early in the morning, those fishermen, blah, blah, blah. And honestly, there was some water with a nasty stench. Nasty, nasty stench. Yeah. Right by the roundabout there. How can we continue like that?
Yes.
You know, how can we continue like that? So as long as that facility is completed, I want to warn. Fish vending will not be permitted in or around the city again. I want to say that because you want to forewarn them that practice has to stop. But more so, Albert, I want to urge patrons. I want to urge the fish-eating members of the public. Please, I'm literally begging, assist us, facilitators, take up your social responsibility and go where the fish is being sold, so as not to lure those guys from leaving the station and coming if the caboways around town.
Also, Richard, the actual vendors, right? Present yourself, man. Present yourself. My goodness. You know, because as soon as I'm approaching your booth or whatever, wherever you're vending, I look at you, right? I take a look at you, and I would like to see that you've actually presented yourself as a vendor. You've got a nice apron, you're looking clean and everything, and so on, and you're selling the fish to me. Because I'm going to eat that, you know, I'm going to put that in my mouth. So I want to see you looking proper. Even the coconut vendors as well, you know, look proper,
well, we're going to the coconut vendors in a while. We're going to them now. So, gentlemen, fish vendors, we are well on our way in building this facility, and we will not, once it's completed, we will not permit the vending of fish in any area other than by the fisheries. You will have running water, you will have ice, you will have everything that is necessary to sell fish in a cleaner and healthier environment. Now, Albert, coconut vendors. You know, I want to make a special appeal to the coconut vendors who sell behind that new facility that we just built. The one that is commissioned to be open. It's some water, please. I want to make an appeal to them because I just cannot understand how some people believe they can ply the trade and did me faire $10 mami like rien. Coconut vendors, you'll have to move from where you are. There's absolutely no two ways about it. We cannot open that new facility and for the coconut vendors there to remain in the current state that they have this thing here. And I don't want to sugarcoat anything. The coconut vendors have to be moved. Albert, I'll show you a picture in a bit, or pictures.
I think you should be a little more specific.
Why?
The coconut vendors where?
Right, right next to
where the chaps are vending the fish at the market.
Okay, they vend the fish on one side of the new facility,
yes,
and the coconut vendors sell at the back on the other side.
No, the reason I asked you to be more specific because you know we've got coconut vendors.
No. I'll come to that. I'll come to that, and I'll show. I'll actually show. So where we build the new facility, Madam Mayor, I have not spoken to you about it as bluntly as I will tonight. But you have to find a place for those coconut vendors. We cannot permit our city to be going down that. I mean, come on. Let them, they want to sell the coconuts. I don't have a problem with that. I have no difficulty with that. But what passes for the coconut vending? No. Folks, 95% of these coconuts are not washed before they are sold. They are not washed. 95% of them. You may not like what I say, but it's the truth. We know rats and coconuts, Albert.
Oh yeah, rats love coconuts.
We know rats and coconuts. Rats would make a nest in a coconut tree in a jiffy. And by the time you check, one rat has about 40, 40 of them waiting.
They reproduce.
Extremely quickly.
They reproduce, yes.
And we take those coconuts, we cut them, and we drink them.
Yeah. And you know, Richard, let me remind you of something of your youth, the younger days. Back in those days, they used to wrap the coconut tree with this aluminum.
So that rats
the rats couldn't climb.
That's correct.
You don't see that happening anymore?
That's correct. I remember my father when we used to have, but you see, the thing is, in those days, coconuts were meant mostly for copra.
Yes.
And it was seen as an intrusion on the profit of the farmer.
Yes.
So what they would have done was to wrap this aluminum around the stem about 2 feet high or so that the rats cannot climb the tree. That is no longer existent.
No.
But folks, we have to be careful. I want my coconut vendors or the coconut vendors to make $1.
But Richard, having said that, some time ago, I think, I can't rightly recall, but some time ago, I think there was a case of some chap dying
of leptospirosis.
And it is said that he had drunk a coconut.
Yes, there have been several cases. Several. There was, when I was in government between 2006 and 2011, one of the guys who worked with me died a few days after consuming something they indicated that rats had been related on.
Yeah, so we have to be careful with that.
You know,
and coconuts are the favorites of
good.
rats.
You know, so, you know, coconut vendors, please. We cannot continue with the nastiness that is happening outside the new facility. We cannot. And like I say, Madam Mayor, I don't know. I want them to sell the coconuts. I have no problems with them. They have their bills to pay. But let us do it in a healthier and more comfortable environment. And the coconut vendors themselves must take responsibility. There are some guys selling coconuts by SNS on the highway, Albert. You know what I did? One day I passed and I saw them picking up all the garbage. ALL. After they picked up all, I went up north. When I came back, the place was squeaky clean. You know what I did? I actually had somebody on another occasion to video them for me when they were about to close. And video the area they were selling the coconuts after they had left. Play that short, darkened video for me, please. Look at this. This is by the highway by SNS. They finish sell. You see what he's doing? Picking up all his stuff and throwing it at the back of the van. They have the tents there. They have whatever there. And when they are through, show them how that very location where the guys were. Look at that, Albert.
Yes, they were never there.
You would never believe. You would never ever believe that persons were vending coconuts there a few minutes before. Now, how can I, in all sincerity, Virgil Roberts, don't tell me move on, please, you get it, please, don't do that. No, I need to pound it in the heads of some people. How can I, in all good conscience, say those guys must not sell there?
But Richard, we must not forget there's some chaps a little lower by the bridge, by the Wange. That's where they vend. So I don't want them to feel left out because they do a fantastic job
in cleaning.
Yes.
Very well. Now, let me show you that. Look at the nastiness that takes place in Castries, first of all. Show that picture for me, please. Look at that. Look at where they vend coconuts. Look at this, Albert. How can that pass as a place you vend coconuts? Look at the nastiness that goes
in the middle of your city.
In the middle of the city. And what you see at the back is the blockage of the new facility that was built. So once that barrier is removed, everything is exposed. That cannot stay there. It cannot. And what is worse, let me show you how they live there. Show them the pictures of how they live there. Look at this. Look at this.
Yes.
Look at this. And that is, like I said, that plywood you see there is at the back of the facility.
City Council guy not way.
You know, how can we, folks? How can we? Look at that. You know, you pass there in the night, rats and loads of rats all over this. I mean, come on. You know.
And that's the other thing, you know, because the cities naturally attract rats. And you don't want to encourage them.
That's what they're doing. You could take it down. So, folks, all of us need to take responsibility. We need to make $1. I don't have a problem with that. We have bills to pay. We have children to send to school. But we can do better than that. We ought to do better than that. This is pure nastiness, and it cannot continue. When I remove that barrier at the back there, and you have such a nice facility at the front, and that is what you see in the back, no.
Yeah. We must do better.
We have to do better. Madam Mayor, you have your work cut out for you. Now, Albert, the last bit I want to come on is the boulevard vendors. I want to say a couple things and then I want you to have your say. Persons vending the boulevard, they have even formed an association. Some of them don't know I read 99% of the comments. They don't know that because I am not to tell them what I read. There's a certain one who said, they said don't touch my vendors, as though a vendor has a right to just put a thing in the middle of the street and don't touch me and nobody will touch you, which is utmost nonsense. In the boulevard, I want to say this, the vendors have a right to earn a living. Correct, Albert?
Yes, everyone.
Hold on. They have a right to earn a living. Good. Pedestrians have a right to be provided with free access on the sidewalks.
Yes.
Isn't that correct?
I would think so. Yes.
Good. Now, in the boulevard, business owners who are paying thousands and thousands of dollars in either rent or mortgage have a right to ensure that the entrances to the businesses are kept unblocked, and so are the show windows. Not so?
Yes.
Good. So would you not agree, Albert, that we have three competing interests in the boulevard? The interest of the vendors, the interest of the pedestrians, and the interest of the business owners.
I would add a fourth.
Traffic.
Yes.
I know you know the motoring public.
Yes.
So we have competing interests. So it is not about one set of people alone. It cannot be about vendors alone. It cannot be about pedestrians alone. It cannot be about business owners alone. It cannot be about motoring public alone. There are competing interests, and we must balance this thing out. So when I saw one road, and they said don't touch my, well, go and put your thing in the middle of the road. Come on, my people. Come on. We all need to think of the right of others when we think of our rights. Our rights don't take precedent over others' rights. All those rights must be balanced. I am inundated with telephone calls from business people, business owners in the boulevard, some of whom who literally harass me, Mr. Minister, send city police to take this man off the entrance of my store, or to take this one off. That is what we have. So when I see all in your chat room talking nonsense, I have to shake my head. It is not your... Yes, your interest has to be taken account of too. I agree with that. I'm not saying put you all on the side. But neither should we put pedestrians on the side, or put business owners on the side, or put motoring public aside. No. Those rights and interests must be balanced. You cannot think of yourselves alone. Those are competing interests. Tomorrow, under the legislation, City Council can say just no vending in the boulevard. And once they put it up, it becomes law. Richard, it becomes law.
Richard, you know, some time ago we were discussing this right here. And I mentioned the question of regulation. Right? And in my view, unless there's regulation, you will have the chaos that exists. Right? Because if you just leave the people to their own devices, they just do what they want. You know, this is what's going to make me comfortable. Whether I'm blocking Mr. whoever's store, whatever, whether I'm obstructing the pedestrian walkway, whether I'm obstructing space for traffic.
Okay, let's put it there. I think there's a Domino's or Churches in the boulevard.
There's Domino's, Churches.
Can you imagine? I put my tray in front of the blocking the people.
Yes.
You know? So, I mean, I don't understand.
There needs to be some regulation. So people know exactly what they can and cannot do. Right? Because as long as you leave them to their own devices, people just make themselves as comfortable as
and they'll say, oh, he said don't touch my vendors. So vendors can do what they want. They can do what they want and it's okay. No, it's not okay. It's not okay. Let us balance things out.
But you know, even this person you mentioned a while ago says we get it, let's move on. No. Because the vending in Castries is a big
problem.
What's the issue? What's the issue? It's a big issue. Because we don't want to make it sound like vendors are a problem, but they need to be regulated. There needs to be some forms of control. Otherwise, you'll have the runaway thing that happened around the printry and all of that. And again, and if you don't watch them, Richard, they know that you've moved them away from the printry. They know that. But they'll find themselves somewhere else. Let's push the envelope. I put something there. Let's see if anybody's going to say anything. Okay, today nobody said anything. I'll come back tomorrow. And before you know it, somebody will say, hey, but look, he's been there for a week, I'll join.
Albert, you wouldn't even believe this. After we built the booths by Bido Park, before the booths were opened, I passed and I'm seeing a lady nailing a tarpaulin onto the back of the booth so that she could cover and block a pedestrian. You see at the back? Between the booths and that building there, block that area for her to vend.
Yes.
I mean, some of us are unconscionable. Yes, you have to survive. That is not the point I'm making. But pedestrians need their sidewalks. Business people need their entrances. They need their exposure. It cannot be one interest alone.
On a Saturday, Richard. On a Saturday, I wonder if is it Raj and basically that side of the boulevard. I wonder if these people even make $1 on a Saturday.
Raj is one that has complained a lot. He has.
Because these people will make money from people who know that they're there.
Yes.
But if you don't know these people are there, let's forget it.
Let me tell you, there are some businesses if advertised, you have to look well to see them amidst all the chaos. So I'm not saying that people cannot vend. And that's not what I am saying. Because if I were to say that, I will say stop vending in the boulevard, full stop. But everybody cannot take a tray. Tomorrow morning, Albert, let's be hypothetical and say 50 people decide we're going to put a tray somewhere in Castries. What happens? And they come in the boulevard. You know what will happen? The vendors now will start fighting among themselves. That's their part of the sidewalk. That's why it does be. That's why it does be. That's why it does be. And that's what, folks, this has to be regulated. And I urge each and every person in considering your rights, please consider the interest of others.
And rights of others, yes.
Okay?
Because your rights are not absolute.
Please. Now, we're about going now into serious business, Albert. But before I do that, United Pack of Wolves, you all need to come better than that. They take any story and say it's a scandal. You know that.
That's a favorite word.
Scandal. Yeah. So somebody sending me a picture of myself and my PS. Myself and my PS. Basically, we had a picture when there was this ministry something. I took a picture with my PS, my mayor, DPS, and the staff. And they're showing the PS's house. Okay. And then they're saying corruption, scandal. Scandal, eh? That the PS is building under a house with money being paid to a contractor. Unfair. So I called my PS. I said, PS, what you doing there? You building your house? I've never been to the PS's house. Never been. I've never been there. In fact, when I thought it was where you passed to go there, they told me it's a different place. Anyhow. So they have this. I said, PS, what's going on? I said, Mr. Minister, 2 one-bedroom or whatever apartments I'm building, gain for my retirement.
Your retirement, yes. So you have a little something coming in.
So she said, when I retire, I'll have a little something coming in. I'm building 2 little apartments under my house. The PS has been a PS for 10 years.
And a worker for...
Oh, donkey. She has been a PS at the highest grade for 10 years. She has been in the public service for well over 30 years. She has a house. Her vehicle should be at least 9 years. So that tells you
she's not a lavish person.
That's correct. That is not somebody who is drowning in debt. Okay? But obviously, some of us don't, some of us do. She catered for her retirement, so she's building two. I did not even know PS is building apartments. But I'm supposed to be paying the contractor. You know, I am supposed to facilitate payment of the... I asked PS, who's your contractor? She gave me the person's name. It did not even register, to be honest with you. It did not even register. Because it was so, so far-fetched. You know, y'all united pack of wolves. When y'all talk y'all rubbish, nothing sticks because you cannot substantiate what you say.
A wolf is a pretty honorable animal, by the way.
And they're dishonorable, obviously. Okay. United pack of jackalacks, I once used to call them. Cordelia Lane Ambrose, Dr. Cordelia Lane Ambrose, has been in the public service long before I was in politics. Long before I was in politics. Very long before I was in politics. She has been at the highest grade in the public service for over 10 years. Over 10 years. If she needs to do a bobble to build 2 apartments, well, Aveti, there was no need to work. There was no need to work. Her house she has had for eons. Her vehicle is not new at all. So if she's building 2 apartments, it has to be bobble. You see, you all said the same thing about me. You all said the same thing about me. And you all are not doing that to tackle the PS, you know. You all want to come at me. You all want to come at me, but come directly. Deti apat moun cafe, corruption. Where's the scandal? Pa hotel, no? C'est pas hotel il cafe. C'est pas un complex. I'm starting a 14 apartment building pretty soon, and I said so long ago. I'm starting it pretty soon. You all will tell me it's bubble too. Because my plans were ready. Now, you see you, Mr. Luis, Hildrev Luis, I have a spanking for you. Eh? Hildrev took almost 5 years to give me my plans. Hildrev, I'll beat you. But that's not, he took a long time, but not so long. But I have my plans and I'm ready to go. You all will tell me it's bubble. I was out of government. Out of mainstream government for 10 years. I built and sold over 25 house and land packages. Over 25. I bought over 10 brand new vehicles. 10 brand new vehicles whilst out of mainstream government. But when I came back, I bought a used Range Rover for Daniel. Bobol. Excuse me. Excuse me. So my PS cannot build to their apartment. Jesus. What is wrong with you guys? I have never heard such crap. In every organization, people seek to better themselves. Once you better yourself in the public service, once you better yourself, somebody who is making the most money in the public service insofar as grades are concerned. To build 2 apartments is a bubble. You know, that is why some of you, anyway, I wouldn't say that on television. You know, when you see your staff sitting with Dominique Fede and Timothy Pauléon having lunch, it is not difficult to know where the information is coming from. It is not. You know?
Is there something called staff orders?
I don't know. You're not drawing my permanent secretary into politics. Why? Why? I have never been to a house. If you blindfold me and you take me to my PS house and you bring me inside and you ask me, you take off the blind from my face, I would not know where I am. If you bring a contractor in front of me, I don't know him. I don't know him. You see, y'all are judging people by your standards. She's not building many houses. She's not building an apartment complex that I will be building. She's building 2 little apartments to ensure that her retirement is taken care of. You know? But no, bobble.
As you said, Richard, I don't know that it's so much a PS that they're after, you know. It's really...
What you think is a PS? And the PS building her 2 apartments. You're taking a picture of mine. Whoa, Lon, can I say that? I don't have a permission to say that. I don't. Look at the message. I'm going to say it. I just get a message from Lon Theophilus. My PS never told me that. The lady took a loan from us at Fix for the construction of what she's doing. You see it? I'm getting a message from Lon Theophilus on my phone. The lady took a loan from us at Fix for the construction of what she's doing. What is wrong with these people? Look it on my phone. And I didn't ask my PS a business. I never asked her whether I did. That's not my business.
They don't really care about that, you know, Richard. They don't really care.
2 apartments, probably $80,000-$90,000 because you don't have roof or anything. 2 apartments under a house, Albert.
Yeah.
You cast the bottom, blocks, windows, your roof is the bottom of the other house.
Yeah, And Bob's your uncle. Off you go.
Off you go. You know, 2 apartments. Scandal. Kisa ka scandal la. But no, it's Richard Frederick they want to draw into it. And I never ever...
I think you should repeat that, you know, for those who didn't hear in the back.
Yeah. Lon Theophilus just... Lon, you want to call my phone? No, okay, all right. Danny has advised against it, so that's all right. Lon Theophilus sent me a message. The lady took a loan from us at Fix for the construction of what she's doing. What is wrong with these people, choops? You know, Kisa give us a United pack of Jagalax. You know, 2 apartments, eh? Keep up with a roof. Because the easiest thing is to build an apartment on the house. That is the easiest thing. Foundation, block work, windows, open roof. Blocks, $3-4 so on. 1,000 blocks, if it takes that much, $4,000. Labor, I mean, come on. I sold a house to deceased Tommy in my development. His mother was at a home at the time, at an old people's home or whatever. And he told me he wants to build an apartment downstairs, the house I sold to him for his mother. I'm not exaggerating. Within about a month, I gave him a completed apartment. Completed apartment. I paid 2 fellas for a weekend to dig the foundation, and that was it. Foundation blocks, backfill cast blocks, and that was it. You know, 2 apartments the lady is building under her house. Under her house, she'll get tenants, she can repay her loan. She has a little thing there for her pension. Bobble. Scandal, big scandal.
Scandal.
Now you scandal, that's a bangola. Who can buy 100 million, go a million? Scandal.
I think there's a new perfume out. So this is scandal. That's what they like.
You know. Okay, so Albert, get the shoe with dashing because that United pack of jackalacks, and it's not PS y'all want me, it's me y'all want. And the scandals, and what they do is they show the lady house and they put a picture of me and the lady, pam, stamp in there. So Richard facilitated.
But they're really scraping the bottom of the barrel, Richard, because these people, they can't attack on policy. You know, you don't see there's nothing to attack on policy because they just fall flat with the arguments, right? So they come with all manner of foolishness. All manner of foolishness.
You know, nonsense.
Anyway, where's Malpines? This is.
Hey! Whoa, you have breaking news on that one, but not yet.
It'll be broken.
It will be broken. They had given us August, of course. When August, that going on August next year.
Must be next year.
Oh, okay.
But where's all that evidence that was coming? Anyway,
that's another show. That's another show. So let's talk about La Marguerite. But, you know, somebody said, Roma Wilson, you may say so, but sometimes you have to vindicate people. You have to. You know, sometimes they need to know your business to keep them out shut. Because somebody from Dominica sent that to me today. You know, scandal. 2 apartments, the lady building under her house. She don't have to pay for a roof. She don't have to pay. Aveti. And then they said, somebody say, oh, the road she built, infrastructure gave somebody from agriculture, meaning Steve gave somebody from agriculture a contract to you know, nonsense alone, crap alone. Come better than that.
You must think about it. You must lead a pretty sad life to be sitting in some little room and, you know,
and just concoct those stories, man.
You must lead a pretty sad life.
You know, concoct those stories. You know, Killer Smith, you cool. So it was Fête Marguerite, or it's still Fête Marguerite? It's a whole week.
It's on Marguerite.
Good. And a group, Albert, from the Valley, led by no other than, who led the Marguerite group?
I'm not too sure, you know.
The one that was the bell, the fellow with the bell.
Oh, ring the bell.
Right.
Ring the bell.
So they decided to visit the Prime Minister's office. What is amazing is that all of them that went there are more fluent in Creole than in English. So I asked myself, si se chas de kiti la, ese moun sa ale like the boy Fête Marguerite e ki sa iti kay di? Because si yo moun pasa pale Creole, yo pa kay kompwana yon Fête Marguerite. Ek si se chas de kiti la, masav si yo te sa ale la, e ki sa yo te sa explike e bay. You see, folks, the reality is this. The Lawas and Margaret festivals are deeply rooted in our culture. And all songs for both of these festivals, and I'm sure you'll agree with me, Albert, are predominantly, if not totally, in Creole.
Yes, yeah, Creole, mostly Creole.
I've never heard an English Lawas song.
I think I may have heard one or two, but they mostly Creole.
They are Creole songs.
Mostly Creole.
They are in patois. All the songs, most of them. What appreciation would a prime minister have for a celebration that he does not understand? And so in Philip J. Pierre, he understands our St. Lucianness. He understands our culture. He speaks our language. He knows Lawas. He knows La Marguerite. He knows what emancipation is all about. He will always remember that our ancestors fought their ancestors for our freedom. The freedom that we enjoy today was fought for by our ancestors. And so our current Prime Minister can celebrate our culture. He understands our history, knows where we come from. He is with us when it comes to our St. Lucianness. I could tell you, he spearheaded and voiced his opinion on all of those cultural activities, including Emancipation Day. And that is why when Ring the Bell and company went to his office, he embraced them. He embraced them. Let's have a look at Philip J. Pierre's response to Ring the Bell.
Ring the bell. Ça toujours dit bah il toujours dit moi, ma vie même connaît. Mais actuellement il sait quoi moi. Ok. Il connaît pas actuellement, il ouais, madame moi il dit mais pas porter moi ring the bell. Merci. Ouais, veni. Couleur Madrid. Voilà. Pas de problème. Couleur c'est rouge. Ok. Donc, mais ça va faire by PIA pour culture, mais ça, pour ça, le gouvernement, ça, mettez en chaîne là, nous quand même des prix en culture, ça c'est pour bénéfice.
Okay, we're back on. So, can you imagine? Ring the Bell in this clip is asking the Prime Minister, what has he, Ring the Bell, said about Philip J. Pierre? Can you imagine that, Albert? Ring the Bell, ou pa changer, ou dit, ou si mieux vote by un homme blanc, passe au vote by Philip J. Pierre, because he knew it. Ou ka bliye ou di ça? Hein? Est-ce ou ka bliye ça Ring the Bell? Ou si mieux vote by un homme blanc, passe au nèg noir, c'est ça ou dit, il faut changer talent. You know? The same set of people whom our ancestors fought to gain our freedom. Now some of us want to surrender that very freedom that was fought hard for. Surrender it back into the hands of those same colonial masters and their descendants. Ring the bell. That faut show ça ou te dit Philippe J. Pierre. That faut show et qu'on peut observer ça. But you are assisting, you are trying your utmost. You are bringing on the fight to cause colonialism to return to this great country of ours. A country that has made significant strides post-independence. Before show his out there ring the bell. Play that clip for me, please.
You have to read the history of slavery to understand this. There were two kinds of Negroes. There was that old house Negro and the field Negro. And the house Negro always looked out for his master.
Alors, moi, quand faut savoir qui, moi, si moi vote by un homme blanc, passé by Philippe J. Pierre. Parce que c'est un homme blanc qui a mis manger en l'étape moi. Philippe J. Pierre, nom noir à 10 autres qui, nom noir à 10 autres qui, si on vote by, il pas qu'à ça mette manger en l'étape autres. Alors, nom blanc, dis-moi comme ça. Il kay sa mette mangeant l'étape moi, c'est pour ça moi si me vote by un homme blanc, passer by un homme noir. Alors moi ka penser que qui, zot ka comprendre ça moi ka dire. Moi dit comme ça, c'est homme blanc qui ka mette mangeant l'étape moi. Alors nèg noir pas ça mette mangeant l'étape moi si me vote by homme blanc.
So ring the bell, le ou aller office premier ministre là. Ça y a, yo pas payé, c'est pour nous faire la Marguerite là. Yo pas payé ça. So, gouvernement pas mais rien le tabou. Papa. What do you think of that, Albert?
Richard, what Ring the Bell is saying there, right? That's the superficial. I like to look beyond the superficial. Mm-hmm. Where is that mindset coming from? Where is it coming from for Ring the Bell to be saying this, that il must me vote by un homme blanc, passe un homme noir. Now he has brought the full racial overtones into this.
Yes, he has.
Right? That he prefers to vote for a white man than for him to vote by Philip J. Pierre, a black man.
And you know what is worst? We have to go for...
Okay,
folks,
we'll pick it up.
We'll be back. Lots more to discuss. We must go for a break now.
You're watching MBC.
The winning numbers for the evening draw of Thursday, 17th October 2024 were tic-tac-toe: 2, 6, 11, 12, 16, 19, 20. Big 4: 3, 2, 5, 7. Big 4 multi-X, 2X. Pick 2, 6, 7. Pick 2 multi-X, 2X. 1 off, 5, 0, 3. Lucky 3, 4, 9, 2. Lucky 3 multi-X, 2X.
Looking for certified specialists in motor vehicle inspections and evaluations? Check us at K&M Garage, located in Massad Grosley. We also specialize in motor vehicle damage assessment reports, bodywork, part replacement, and ordering of motor vehicle parts for all vehicles. For more information, call 452-6596, 716-1333, or 716-0767.
My name is Martina. I would like to say thank you to the guys from Paddy Access, especially Jermaine, for a job well done. I called him 2 days before my brother's funeral to do a live video, and I was not disappointed. He was professional and kept in touch with me throughout the live, just making sure I was satisfied with everything. I would definitely use Paddy Access again, and I highly recommend that anyone looking to do a live video to hire them. Everyone who watched my brother's funeral had good things to say about how much of a good job the videographer did. If you want satisfaction for your money, Paddy Access is the way to go.
The St. Lucia Labour Party invites you to the open session of its 2024 Conference of Delegates at the Bellevue Combined School in Beaufort North on Sunday, 20th October 2024 from 3 p.m. Under the theme, Forward Together for More Progress. The guest speaker, Comrade Ralph Gonzalez, Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Featured speaker, political leader and Prime Minister, Philip J. Pierre. Plus a celebrated cast of singers and performers. Delegates, supporters, well-wishers, all are invited to this 74th annual conference of the SLP at Bellevue Combined School, Beaufort North on Sunday, 20th October from 3 p.m. The St. Lucia Labour Party, putting you first.
McDowell Supplements, an effective way to ensure you and your loved ones are getting the daily recommended intake of essential vitamins, minerals, and other important nutrients necessary for optimal health. Naturally, we carry an array of health and wellness supplements. McDowell's Immune Booster enhances your body's defense to fight colds and flu, boosts your immune system, prevents viruses and other airborne diseases. McDowell's Colon Cleanser prevents constipation, helps in removing toxins from the colon, detoxifies the body, and regulates your bowel movements. McDowell's Prostate Health prevent the enlargement of the prostate, improve urinary flow, and reduce frequent urination, especially at night. Moringa oleifera capsules are rich in minerals like calcium, potassium, zinc, magnesium, iron, and copper, vitamins like beta-carotene, vitamin A, vitamin B such as folic acid, vitamin C, D, and E. McDowell's Potassium Complex, used for treating and preventing low potassium levels, high blood pressure, preventing stroke, and aid in weight loss. McDowell's Triple Magnesium relaxes the muscles, relieves cramps and helps to control high blood pressure, improves sleep, and can calm the nerves. Magnesium is very important for the normal functioning of cells, nerves, muscles, bones, and the heart. McDowell's Ginger Turmeric helps to relieve pain, decrease nausea and enhance the immune function to help protect against illness and infection. Ginger Turmeric has powerful anti-inflammatory properties and improves your circulation. Don't hold health back. Let health strike back. McDowell's, the better way to start your health. Visit Health Service Center, John Compton Highway, call 453-6417. Let your wellness be our stress.
It is well known that diseases like diabetes, high blood pressure, and other illnesses may restrict blood flow, which can lead to impotence and erectile dysfunction. This is why Enhance was formulated to meet these challenging health problems, which can reduce your ability to perform. If you're having problems maintaining your manhood, then reclaim your manhood today with Enhance. Enhance increases your energy level, boosts your stamina, and increases your endurance.
You can get your Enhance at Southwell VA4, Restorer Pharmacy Soufre, Knightsmed Miku, Lay by Bar The Morn, Dexter's Place Jeremy Street Castries, Citygate Bar The City opposite the market, Plants Place Denry Highway, Arlette Supermarket Soufre, The Release Stress Bar Labrie Highway, Cool Joint Bar Victoria Schwazel, Prios Bus Stop 22, next to the Moshi Bus Stop, opposite the Grosley Bus Stop. Prios Bar and Grill in Corinth, Grosley.
Enhance, the best a man can get.
You're watching MBC.
Thanks for staying tuned. Let me shout out. I sent you a picture, Black Boy, if you have it, put it up for me, please. Peter the Great, how are you? I understood that your daughter Rhea graduated with her Bachelor of Arts degree in Politics and Governance. Let's hope she's St. Lucian by citizenship. You want to put up the picture for me, please? We want to congratulate her. This is Peter the Great there with the partially red shirt in the back. And I guess this is Rhea with a bundle of flowers, her bouquet. So good night, Rhea. And you did well. Politics. Why, you know your father loves politics so much that you end up doing a degree in Coco. Very good, very good, very good. All right, you can take it down. Let me say good night to Troy. Troy, your birthday is on Saturday. Troy of Beaufort. They have asked me to send you advance birthday greetings. Zanik and Millet, good night to you. I sure. Good night. Miguel Frevrier, we come into that soon. Guy Joseph calling Philip J. Pierre, a man who was one of the first to graduate out of St. Lucia with an honors degree from UWI, is calling Philip Joseph Pierre a retarded. We come into that. Diane of Talvin, I understood you're watching, but you're all the way in New York City. Good night to you. Trisha Neptune Deriso, good night. Garfield Jabatis, ex-Sergeant Felix, Saudi Afwe. Bosway, Mikey Henry, Allet of Customs. We need money, Allet. Go and collect it for us. Glenn and Petra and Viewford, good night to you. Fedora Litang, your son Steve Melius is always on, and he's asked me to wish mommy send some greetings to my mother. So Fedora Litang, good night to you. Corporal Jean Calmajan, good night to you. Well written, my boy, carried on air. Nicola Dovey, good night to you. Marian Linas, over in Staten Island, New York, good night, good night, good night. Julian Charles, our St. Lucian over in Atlanta this moment. Good night to you. Good night to Nigel Sinclair, Nadia Boyce, Tootsie, Vanessa Huggins of Georgeville, Rossini. Flow is flowing tonight, my brother. Cutty Ranks, good night to you. Latoya Popo, good night to you. Frances Rubb, Bosway. Albert, Bosway.
Bosway, Missia. Yeah, let me shout out a few people there. Jennifer O. Shelly Ann Lafay. That's my flubbo friend, huh? Shelly Ann Lafay. Good night, my girl. Hazel and Georgiana. You do that fine cow heel and all that kind of thing on a Saturday.
Yeah.
Yes,
by
man.
Georgie.
Yes, man. That's you know. Albert Hippolyte, good night. Yeah, now Anson.
Anson Maxwell.
Anson Maxwell. And Enoch. But yes, let me just take a moment to send condolences to Anson. Right? That is his uncle, Mr. McLawrence from Denry, Lapward Denry. He passed away.
Okay.
So Caleb, that's his son. Caleb is Eric, Alpha. I think there's another one I can't really recall. Priscilla. These are his children. He's got others. Miriam as well. Miriam, my very good friend. Miriam. So my condolences, the condolences of Can I Help You to the families. Right? But moving on with the shout outs. Kim Hamilton over in Texas. Mahoney Oje, Boswe Misia. Boswe Misia Mahoney Oje. Noella Joseph, good night, my girl. Roma, my special girl. Roma Fields. Wilson, good night. Adolphus Herbert, I'm still telling you good night, you know, even if you're an Arsenal supporter. Right? And don't tell me nothing about my club, huh? Manchester United. Everything you're going to tell me, I know already, okay? So don't tell me nothing. Which includes Mr. Glasgow. Jermaine Girard, good night. Nettie McDonald, good night. We have got some more shout-outs, but we have to get back to the substantive matters.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Richard, just before we
Sabi Gustav, good night to you. Good night. Your father passed away, Sabi. Sorry to hear. Condolences to Nurse Gustav, Sabi Gustav. She just informed me her father passed away last week, on Tuesday, sorry. Condolences to you.
Yeah, just before we went to the break, we were talking about the Ring the Bell. And I said to you, I mean, that was the superficial, what we saw there with Ring the Bell.
Yes.
Okay, you could call it what you want, people would say this, that, and that. But for me, when you look beyond the superficial, it is where is this thing coming from? That behavior from Ring the Bell, where is it coming from? Mm-hmm. And Richard, it's even worse given where he's from.
Exactly.
Ring the Bell is from Oleon.
The Valley.
Right? It's from Oleon, I believe.
Where everybody speaks Patois.
Yeah, yes, the Patois, but not only that. Oleon, Richard, you know what Oleon represents?
And the uprising, that's where
that is where the slaves used to run to from the plantation down in the valley.
Yes. There
right?
was an uprising
so when they run, that's where they go to up there. Oleon. That's how that community was established. You know? So this man is supposed to have the mindset of a Negmaon. Right? Now, you see, back in the day, Negmaon was supposed to have been a bad thing. But Negmaon is not a bad thing. Negmaon is that person who has decided, I'm not staying on this plantation in these conditions of slavery. I'm going up to the hills. Right? And so, the people from Oleon have the mindset of Negmaon. But he doesn't have it. He does not have it.
Now, you know, Albert, I mean, a lot of people regard the expression Negmao as derogatory. Yeah?
It's not.
But they don't know that. It's an expression of bravery.
Bravery.
That's correct.
I'm not tolerating this nonsense on this plantation anymore. I'll run away. And they would raid the plantations as well. Right? So Negmao is the equivalent of Maroons in Jamaica.
Yeah, the Maroons, yes.
Right, that's the equivalent.
They led an uprising as well.
Exactly.
There was an uprising.
Exactly.
In Jamaica,
so where is the Negmao in Ring the Bell? He doesn't have it. He does not have it. He's exactly what Malcolm was talking about.
House slave or field slave?
You know.
Which one is he?
He's certainly not a field slave. But anyway, leave Ring the Bell alone.
You know,
he might still come around. You know, given the rapprochement with the Prime Minister there, he might still come around. You never know.
You know, but Albert, isn't this a shame? Isn't this a shame that we fought for what we fought for? Our ancestors fought their ancestors. We were bloodied. we were killed, we were ill-treated, we were flogged. And today, even some of our ancestors are asking the ancestors of the colonial...
To flog us.
To flog
again.
us. Again. Flog them.
Again. It's a while since they got a flogging.
Flog them.
Yes.
Shasta will say we deserve to
be flogged.
And then those minions will repeat it.
Yes.
It's a crying shame. It's a crying shame.
There's one I noticed is not around saying anything about flogging these days. I don't know.
I guess there is no more champagne in the glass.
It probably went flat. You know, you can't open this thing and we don't move the same way.
Now, you know, folks, another thing that's quite shameful. Alan Chasney is 63 years old. Although his wife had to remind him, you're not 62, you're 63.
Is he behaving like Trump?
He'll be 64 next month. You claim you love St. Lucia. You claim you are one of us. You claim you want to represent the people or their interest. Yet, at 64, short of 1 month, Alan Michael Chasney cannot converse fluently in our mother tongue. He cannot speak patois. He will try to say a word or two, but he cannot speak patois. Yet, you have a man who came here with the Taiwanese embassy, came here with the Taiwanese embassy speaking fluent patois. That is a crying shame. Take a listen to this, folks.
Bonjour, c'est Lissi. Non, moi c'est Eric et moi sorti Taiwan.
Announcing the 17th Annual St. Lucia Taiwan Partnership Trade Show from November 1st to the 3rd.
Moi ka invité où?
Come see the creativity of 65 entrepreneurs from St. Lucia.
Et c'est 65 business
from Taiwan. 14 businesses that will show the latest tech products and other innovations from Taiwan. Free shuttle service from Baywalk Shopping Mall and back.
Où c'est où yé? Pas by black.
Yes, free shuttle service. And as usual, there will be lots of fun and entertainment. On Saturday, it's carefree karaoke. And Sunday, a fashion show with Rafferty Inc. and live music from the Impulse Band.
Nouveau, 10 pour 7 tous les jours.
It's the 17th Annual St. Lucia Taiwan Partnership Trade Show, November 1st to the 3rd at the Pavilion on Rodney Bay.
Dis-moi d'où.
10 a.m. to 7 p.m. daily.
Vini pour nous causer.
Ika, you said you thought of him as I said that. Ika, oh boy. Euphrosyna Altius, listening all the way from Bahrain. But folks, Albert, what do you think of that?
Richard,
what do you think of that?
The very first thing is this guy is very engaged. I like this guy already. I like this guy.
Eric is a St. Lucian.
Yeah, exactly. And you know the man is speaking this thing almost without any inflections that would tell you he's not Lucian. You know?
Lucian, yes.
So this is good, Richard. But getting back to the point that you made, right? And it's a point I've made which is similar, where I said, listen, you cannot, as Alan Chasney, and forget about this thing about racism. Forget this nonsense. It's St. Lucianism.
That's correct.
That's what it is. Right? He doesn't have it. He does not have it. Right? And it's a very deliberate thing on his part.
Because he did not want to associate with
it. He didn't want it. Look at this guy just come there. Just not join me say,
you know.
Let me see Hakapale Koyola.
You know.
Right? And you have been here. Right? Okay, you were born in Martinique, whatever, right? But you grew up here. Right? Although you were always on a plane, I suppose, but you grew up here. That's why this man has this love for planes. Yeah. But anyway, you removed yourself from mainstream St. Lucian society. You did not want to know. You did not want to know. And that is why, for instance, when you said, and you said it, when I say things, right, fact check me. You, Alan Chasney, said that prior to the politics there, you did not know Miku. You had never gone to Miku. Yes, you said it.
Yes, he said so.
Right?
That's a fact.
When I was 12, 13 years old, they took us on a little island tour. right? The family, you know, with all the eye and so on. And I was just so amazed. I was like, what beauty is this? What beauty? Because this was my perspective of St. Lucia. Denry Castries. Denry Castries. That was my perspective of St. Lucia. So my grandmother sends me to shop on a Saturday, right? I come to Castries, we get the groceries, Denry. That was my perspective. And then I'm seeing all this beauty. And I said, no. I have to get to know my country. Indeed. You, Alan Shastney, don't know your country. The country you claim to love, of late. And you cannot speak the lingo.
And you know, Carlton Augustine just said something that is so real. Shastney, Carlton Goodnight, Shastney has never been fully integrated into the local society.
Never.
That is a fact.
Never.
You know, a Taiwanese who recently came here, Albert, can speak so fluent.
Swasat sek. He's even counting.
You know, yet when one attempts to speak Creole to Shastney, he blames the earpiece. You remember that?
So he had an English earpiece.
He had an English earpiece.
Yes.
You know, but the thing is, he was caught off guard because normally he would be with a group of Zelev that would readily translate for him.
Yes.
You understand? They would readily translate. But Harry is on Timothy Polio. They asked him a question. He couldn't understand. He wasn't shielded by one of his zealers who could have interpreted very quickly for him. So what does he do? He changes, he says that the earpiece prevents him from understanding Creole. Can you imagine that? Shastney, the earpiece line here, ipaka ko puan Creole, ipaka ko puan lang mamanu. Apo wete isi a 64 l'année. Ça sont honteuses.
They didn't have a Creole earpiece that night.
Let's take a listen to his earpiece again. Let's say his earpiece piece.
Sir, the audio I have in my ear tonight, it's not very, very clear. So while I would normally be able to listen and understand what you're saying, in order for me to be able to answer your question appropriately, which I absolutely want to do, I'm going to ask you if you can please speak in English. The audio I have, I cannot hear you very, very well.
Can you play that again for me, please? Because the audio I have, Shastney saying that very, very well. Play it again for me, please.
Sir, the audio I have in my ear tonight, it's not very, very clear. So while I would normally be able to listen and understand what you're saying, in order for me to be able to answer your question appropriately, which I absolutely want to do, I'm going to ask you if you can please speak in English. The audio I have, I cannot hear you very, very well.
Marie Frederick, my forever after you too bad, eh? Why you type that on the people live? Pinky Bernard, the mother of Ria, who just graduated, Emran has asked me to send you special greetings and congratulations. So, I want an audio that could translate English to Spanish.
That'd be good. That'd be good. But the audio that I have in my ear is not very, very clear. So he's hearing English.
Yes.
But not Creole.
Yes.
He passa ton Creole là.
You know, and that just tells you folks, people come here through the diplomatic channels. They see the value of learning to speak our language. They see the value in communicating with everyone. We cannot dispense with patois. We cannot dispense with Creole. Our older folk in the main mostly communicate in patois and Creole, whilst the younger ones communicate in English. But at almost 64, as a politician who has represented the people's interests, it tells you of the shortcomings that the people were getting, because they never really could have comfortably communicated with you.
But Richard, we speak of his inability to communicate in Creole. But that is just one aspect of the absence of Lucianness in him.
But
because if you think of our history, right? First of all, Richard, whether you are religious at whatever age you are, the fact is, you see Our Father, Richard, that the Lord's Prayer, you are taught that at school from an early age.
He can't say it.
No, he can't.
He can't say our Lord's Prayer. He does not know the national anthem.
The national anthem.
Alan Shaste does not have St. Lucianness.
He doesn't have it. He does not have it.
He cannot recite the
Alan
Lord's
Shaste
Prayer. He
did not even know about our Nobel laureates. He didn't know.
Yeah.
And so in an international forum, he speaks of Derek Walcott is laureate in poetry and all. He does not know, and all of that. These are things. Okay, take for instance now, Richard. We've got our Olympian Julian Alfred.
Oh, Harry.
Right? Children growing up, children in school now are great as that's part of the history that they've been taught now. So that when they get to like our age, right? These children know about Julian Alfred
because it would have been properly inculcated as part of your St. Lucianness. Tenny Andrew, good night. As part of your St. Lucianness, you know, and it's really, really sad. It's really, really, really sad. A politician representing a constituency, 90% of whom communicates in Creole, you know, you cannot converse with them comfortably. You represent a rural constituency. It's a crying shame.
A rural constituency.
A rural, there we saw Diga, Tiwoche.
Si vous pouvez marcher, sortir un gauchimien, ou passer un jet, et vous pouvez marcher, monter.
Pas toi, yon ou ka joun.
C'est quoi le monde qui a parlé ba ou?
Tout batou long chemin.
Oui.
You know, it's a crying shame.
C'est nous fait tout droit. Monter un blanchard et faire aller partir rocher pour aller diga. C'est quoi?
Creole yon, but Albert Naidu ou bagay. Chaste pate wey nécessaire pour y apprendre parler créole.
Puis si pate
exactly. Chaste kwe de kay we te ici ya. Il de kay mo ici ya. Forward la, bayo les sessions. Bibiana, bayo les sessions. Makaban, bayo les sessions. Mona Bexo, bayo les sessions. Miss Lucy Baron Drive, bayo les sessions. Monsieur kwe, il de kay vive ici ya. Il de kay mo ici ya. Et que la pate kay ni pièce nécessité pour y parler by jeune ouais. Et c'est la vérité ya. Ça c'est la vérité ya. Let's not forget, after he lost the elections, notwithstanding, he represents a rural constituency. I mean, gosh, I'm getting lost for words now. The man opened his mouth, and you remember what he said?
His class
did not support him.
His class did not support him.
His class did not support him. So, je de wiso pa class li. Je ti woche pa class li. Je diga pa class li. His class did not support him. You know? Folks.
Immediately he makes that delineation.
Of course.
I'm over here.
And you over there.
And you... Zot lot side la.
Zot lot side la.
No, not Zot lot side la, because he wouldn't say that.
No, he can't say that.
No, he can't say that.
He can't say that.
And you are over there.
I mean, nonsense. And what hurts is that St. Lucians cannot see that. They are blinded by the fact that, look, my loyalty is to a party. It's not a party. Because if Sir John was there, it would have been a party. Sir John, as the leader, I remember in the days, farmers, hundreds of farmers, Naima Hoai Compton. Compton ka entertain tout farmer. Just ukay maho. Te Compton te de preten ou. Uka we 11 moun sot we Compton pou fez afe yo bayo. Ugo pwan? Tout moun kay we Compton pou fez afe yo bayo.
But think about it, Richard.
Farmers sa pale by Compton. You ek yo comfortable.
John Compton was not born in St. Lucia.
Exactly.
And he was very St. Lucian.
The man, St. Lucianness was inculcated.
He was very St. Lucian. I did one time. I had reason to go to his estate in Maho to look for him, and I'm looking at the man. I didn't realize I was in there, you know. The many of you chow bag I thought like eknya bafig kut lai.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, and I had to. Good morning, sir. So, you know.
You know.
But Alan was a farmer, you know. You know that.
After he won the elections, FAR 15.
FAR 15.
Yeah. Wanted to identify with the people. The man can't even say Saint-Lucie in Creole. Salusi.
Salusi.
You know.
Salusi.
Come on, people, man.
Richard, if you have an interest, look, I spent 1 month in Taiwan. How many eons ago, eh? And up to now, I've not forgotten Ni Hao Ma.
Yeah, that's what good morning.
The greeting. Yeah. You know, Ni Hao Ma.
Ni Hao Ma, yeah.
You know, one thing I did Val Cruziers. I learned that, and I put it into good effect. Nihan Piao Liang. Nihan Piao Liang.
What's that?
So you'll get the concept. I went to we went to the trade center, and there were some beautiful. There you go. There you go. Say thank you. Tell him thank you.
Meow plang long.
So there were some beautiful girls there, Richard, but one was striking. You know, and I went up to and I said to her, Nihan Piao, and then I realized that I would be dissing the other three. So this is me, Nihan Piao Liang.
Nihan Piao Liang.
Yeah. But it's basically saying you're beautiful.
You know.
You know?
Yeah, I mean, it's something else, man. This man has no St. Lucianness in him. And we cannot seem to see that. Some of us, that is. You know, some of us can't seem to see that. Now, Albert, and kite shon predashin. I cannot understand, I cannot fathom how some people in their minds are saying that the government is not working. I cannot understand how in anybody's mind you can justify the belief that the government is not working. There is an old saying, Hayoshe.
Diday blanc.
Diday blanc.
Diday blanc.
Exactly. This government is working assiduously and is delivering to the good people of this country in a totally unprecedented fashion. And the numbers are there to reflect that. Now, when numbers and figures came out, you know what the Flabos do? They fight with the numbers. They quarrel with the persons whom they believe holds responsibility for the compilation of those numbers. But it is not the St. Lucia Labour Party or the current government or Philip J. Pierre putting together those numbers. The work we do, the policies that are rolled out, the numbers are the consequences of those policies. So those policies generate figures, and those figures are used to measure the performance not only of this government, but of any government. And so, folks, it is indeed, I feel really good, Albert. I feel good. I feel heartened. It is with a good heart that when the figures came out, I am now saying that St. Lucia recorded its lowest unemployment rate in history on record at the end of the second quarter.
And that's fantastic. That's amazing.
Fantastic news.
That cannot be, I mean, it cannot be a government that's doing what the UWP is saying.
Exactly.
It can't be that.
Ça c'est l'histoire cette ici. Moun qui pa ka travail pli mwes, c'est nomba pli mwes à finissement septembre, à toutes les nous là. You know?
So là, il y a chay moun ka travail.
Oh, chay moun ka travail. Put up the unemployment rate for me, please. Good. The job numbers for the first 6 months are at an all-time high. Ba mwen di sa Creole, moun ki ka travay pour premier 6 mois en l'année ça là, c'est number ho. The national quarterly unemployment rate in the first 6 months of 2024 have fallen below 12% for the first time in 12 years. Ça c'est première fois unemployment descend à bas 12% pour dernier 12 l'année. Mais tant bonne nouvelle là, St. Lucia recorded its lowest second quarter unemployment rate ever. Zotan ça, nous registrons moins moun ka travail ever. C'est 11.25%. And then we are seeing the employment numbers. Albert, this did not happen by accident.
No.
This did not happen fortuitously. This happened because the government is rolling out good policies that cause those unemployment numbers to go down. That is what it is. That is exactly what it is. And according to Pip, he said it is his desire to see those numbers go down to by single digits in the not too distant future. Let's take a listen to the Prime Minister, please.
Prime Minister Philip J. Pierre is aiming for single-digit unemployment figures in the next 2 quarters. The island has registered record unemployment levels in the first half of 2024 for the first time in a decade plus, according to information from the Central Statistical Office, CSO. According to the Office of the Prime Minister, citing the latest information from CSO, quote, from April to June 2024, the unemployment rate averaged 11.25%. This is the lowest Q2 unemployment rate since 2012. The Q2 unemployment rate of 11.25% in 2024 represents a 2% decline compared to the same period in 2023 and is 6.2% lower than the Q2 unemployment rate in 2022, end quote. Pierre believes that the figures can go even lower if there are no unexpected events.
You may recall I've told you that my aim is to get unemployment to single digits. If the trend continues, barring any unforeseen circumstance, I believe that St. Lucia will attain the single digit unemployment rate. If not in the next quarter, the quarter after. I'm very pleased with that growth, and we hope it continues, barring any unforeseen circumstances which I mentioned to you the last time.
Prime Minister Pierre attributed the decreasing joblessness numbers to new business ventures, developments, and the growth of the tourism sector.
What happens behind the scenes is new businesses. They create an enabling environment, creating the environment for business to expand, creating the youth economy where young people are given grants, creating the MSME where people are given 70% loan and 40% grants, creating an enabling environment as far as incentives are concerned, in that the government does not get involved in the incentive nature. So you don't have to go to a minister's office to wait. These processes and procedures have been hastened, have been clarified. The Prime Minister is not the final arbiter when it comes to giving incentives. The new Tourism Development Act has been passed. There are a number of interventions the government has taken to make business more transparent and to make business easier for people. Plus the fact that the economy is benefiting from the expansion of the tourism industry.
The Prime Minister announced 3 new mega projects in the pipeline, including hotels and malls. He said this will create an additional 500 jobs to help address unemployment.
1, the Pope site the Rodney Bay Shopping Center. Work has started on this project. Number two hotels are commencing shortly on Redway Beach. The lease is going to be signed tomorrow, and the two hotels that are there are going to be demolished. 2 new hotels are going to be built on that site. The 2 existing hotels are going to be demolished. Number 3, the Mont Pinal Hotel. Workers have started on the Mont Pinal Hotel. So hopefully, before the year is ended, we should have more than 500 construction jobs. We should also add to the unemployment, reduce the unemployment levels.
The Prime Minister has indicated that although he is optimistic about the economic gains under his government, he remains cautious about the downside risks that could upend progress. Among his 3 biggest threats are hurricanes, gun violence, and international crisis. Gina Filippi, HTS News Force.
Thank you, Gina Filippi. I hope, thank God you're reading from HTS News Force, because they'll say you not make up the figures too. Before going into that, let me say good night to Cecilia over in New York. I know you're locked on. Rachel Cassius, good night to you. Tenny Andrew, good night. Vicky Butcher of Roselle, good night to you. Chef Thaddeus, I know you're locked on. Charmaine, good night to you. Trisha Deriso, Shasti, Trisha Deriso. Nettie McDonald, Mr. Jeremy, good night. So Albert, we are hearing this. Unemployment the lowest, and the Prime Minister, it is his desire to bring down the unemployment rate to single digits, something unheard of in this country, and he can do it. He will do it, because St. Lucia is already on the right trajectory. It is on the right trajectory. Policies rolled out, the youth economy, MSME, where assistance is given to small to medium businesses, assistance to farmers with the farm labor program, incentives to investors to bolster employment. The reality is, folks, it is the effect of government's policies that are felt, that impact the unemployment rate. Because right now there is more disposable income, more money to go around. And I can say this, some people cannot even get workers. Some people can't even get workers, and it's a fact. It is a fact. You know, imagine, folks, I was reading an article online that appeared in the St. Kitts Nevis Times. And trust me, I'll show it to you. You all know how I roll. There are eyes on St. Lucia. There are eyes on St. Lucia the same way this one called Chastney as one of the most prominently negative leaders of the opposition ever in the region. There are eyes on St. Lucia. And I'll tell you this, they are seeing how we are doing as a country. And I took a screenshot under the article of what the response, the caption, the article was not about St. Lucia. It was about St. Kitts and their ability to recover after COVID. And one person was saying, but don't expect us to bounce back so quickly. Let me show you what the St. Kitts Nevis Times responded. Put up the screenshot for me, please. Good. No, show me above first. Show me the one above. Right. Leslie Paris, no doubt must be a native of St. Kitts Nevis. And he remarked that the expectations were too high, and he wrote this. So after just coming from dealing with COVID, you expect things to bounce back just so. You will surely see harder times before good times reach again. That's why old people always say, live for a rainy day. Now this is just yesterday, folks. And St. Kitts Nevis Times responded. Leslie Paris. It has turned around for other islands like St. Lucia. I'm not making this up, folks. It has turned around for islands like St. Lucia, who has not just returned to the pre-COVID numbers, but has exceeded them. What is St. Lucia doing right that St. Kitts Nevis is not doing? St. Kitts Nevis had 1 million cruise visitors in 2019, and St. Lucia had 700,000 plus. Now St. Lucia is expecting over 800 for the upcoming season, while St. Kitts Nevis has not even issued a season cruise calendar or schedule like the other islands have already done. You all are hearing this, folks? Put that back again. Let me just read one sentence. Go down, scroll down. Let me just give me the beginning. Right. Let me read that sentence. It has turned around for others like St. Lucia. Okay? You can take it down. And I'll tell you this, folks. I'll tell you this. This is extremely instructive, Albert. It has turned around for St. Lucia. It did not turn around by accident. It did not turn around fortuitously. It did not turn around because somebody waved the magic wand. It turned around for St. Lucia because of the good leadership that St. Lucia is currently experiencing. That is why it turned around. Therefrom. That is why it turned around for St. Lucia. It didn't turn around just so. It did not turn around just so. It turned around because of the good policies that are rolled out by a good leadership, and more so, proper management of the country's resources. Indeed. Proper management of the, and that explains, Albert, the fundamental difference between Philip Joseph Pierre and Alan Michael Chasney. The management of the country's resources. Albert, the leadership of Philip Joseph Pierre has held this country on the right trajectory. The resources of this country are spent on our people. I'll give you a few examples. And not on foreigners, or not lavishly, or not squandered. Philip Joseph Pierre will never spend £2,000 a night at any hotel.
No.
Good. No. Philip Joseph Pierre will never pay a firm, foreign or otherwise, $50 million to assist him in budgetary preparations, a task that had been shouldered from time immemorial by civil servants.
Yes.
You think Philip J. Pierre will spend $50 million?
And the input sometimes of well-heeled accountants and
yes.
Because you remember our good man, what's his name? Goodness me, I'm ashamed that I've forgotten his name. He had his firm just off the highway at the junction just down there. Come on, Richard, help me.
You're getting old, but I seem to be getting older. But essentially, Philip Joseph Pierre would never take $50 million and give to any company to assist us in doing what our people did. You think Philip Joseph Pierre will permit anybody to sell passports and tell them put the money in an escrow account overseas?
Mm-hmm. Huh? And there are specific rules which state that you in control.
You can do what you want.
If I want some of it, I have to ask you, and you will determine whether or not.
Whether I get it or not. And then after you do what you do, the rest of the money is yours.
Yeah.
Philip Joseph Pierre would do that.
Nobody's that foolish, by the way. Okay? No, I'm telling you.
No.
Nobody's that foolish.
But Alan did it. So
I'm telling you, nobody's that foolish.
So he's not somebody then.
I'm still telling you, he's not. No, the man is not foolish, Richard. Come on.
Oh, he's not foolish.
No. Nobody's that foolish.
Oh, you mean
I'm not buying that. I'm not buying it. Nobody's that foolish.
You think, Albert, Philip J. Pierre would give anybody $32 million
to go and plant grass behind the grass?
You think he'll do that?
No.
Exactly. You think Philip J. Pierre will ask a hotelier to collect money on my behalf, not taxes owed or anything. You know? It's like the entrance fee to a dance.
Yes.
And then turn around and tell you, keep the money?
Keep it.
Huh?
Keep it.
You think Philip J. Pierre would promise anybody CIP money at an extremely concessionary rate, and if they don't pay, settle them for $32 million? You think people do anything like that?
Or send someone and make commission with $7.4 million. Yeah, to go.
You think about all that?
Yeah. But Richard, you see the simple message in that, huh? The very, very simple message.
No, I don't finish it, so you'll tell me the simple message. You think Philip J. Pierre would build a bypass road for any one man for $15 million?
Yes.
You think he would buy incinerators to facilitate that same man for $11 million, and those incinerators never worked? Philip J. Pierre, when he come out of his PM's vehicle and the bodyguards come out, both of them are turned off.
Switch off, yes.
Yeah, they switch off. Chastney, from the time you leave until I get back home, that vehicle not going off. You think Philip J. Pierre
when the vehicle gets home, he says,
but J. Messi. You know? So, you know, I could go on and on. But the thing is, we are doing how well we are doing because our money is spent on our people, our pensioners, our firemen, our teachers, our police officers, our students, our young people, our small businesses.
Yes.
Go ahead, Albert.
No, I was just saying that the simple message, right? And it's brought into stark reality. Because when you have Philip J. Pierre as the Prime Minister...
Somebody asked if you think Philip J. Pierre will call St. Lucian jackasses. Or mendicants. Or barking dogs.
Barking dogs.
Yes.
But the stark reality is that you've got polar opposites. You had Chastney, who, let's just take, for instance, $32 million. Yes. Okay, let's just take that, for instance. And say, okay, $32 million to Lockerbie, right, to basically go and do Papi Show. All right? Now, take that $42 million and put it in the hands of Philip J. Pierre.
Saka multiplier.
Yes.
All St. Lucians would have smiles on their face.
Yes, he cuts it up now. Okay, this for these people over there, that for this purpose, this for that purpose, that for that purpose. And so that is how you have currently 11.25% unemployment.
Yes.
Because those monies are going into useful purposes for the country.
And it's filtered down to the people.
Filters down, right? Whereas, Lockerbie party avec l'argent.
Let your king party avec
l'argent. Party avec l'argent.
Let Pumandou party avec
l'argent. Go off with their money.
Yeah.
That does not come back to us. We do not enjoy anything from that.
There is absolutely no turnaround in the economy.
None.
That injection is not felt in our economy at all.
No. And there are people telling you how this man had a good handle on the country.
Who?
Who's saying that? Well, I think what they wanted to say, he had some good claws. You know?
That dug very deep.
Yes.
You know? So whilst the world is watching us, whilst a fellow member of the ECCU, they are seeing things are turning around for St. Lucia. The only ones that are not seeing that things are turning around for St. Lucia are the few flubbers who are making useless noises. But I can say this without fear of contradiction, that the majority of St. Lucians are happy with the government. The majority.
Yes, the majority. Definitely.
Of course.
Definitely.
They're happy with the government. So when you all talk, you all bra. Nonsense alone. Crap. Bollocks. That's all. You know? All Chastney does, he tries to fool the people.
Oh, I heard him being something of a philosopher. Something about if you want to win, if you want to better country, you have to think. This man thinks he's something. Philosopher Chastney, man.
You know? You know,
and it's just pure. It's so mundane what he's saying, so pedestrian. You know what he's saying. And I'm thinking he actually thinks he's saying something worthwhile.
You know, that's to him, in his limited ability to be smart. Shasti, you need to stop trying to fool the people, because not all St. Lucians are as stupid as you think they are. Folks, listen well, and I want you to listen to this. Government decided to build a hall of justice, which has started and which will be completed before the end of this term, barring all unforeseen circumstances. Now, the only time you fully cost any project, and I want you to listen, please. Là où kay connaître puis au kay ka coûter, c'est là où fini fait plan kay là. Ou pas ça dit comment kay ka coûter si ou pas connait un plan. Plus gros kay là, plus style pour plus l'argent kay coûte. So quand ka commencer avant ou ka catcher comme l'argent, c'est plan kay là. And that is the only time you can fully cost any project after plans are drawn. Even if, hear this well, you do your quantities based on a drawing. If the plans are not approved in the current state and they're asking for different configurations, you have to go back to your bill of quantities. So the best thing to do is to get your plan approved and then your costings done. Now, Shasne plans, like I said, costed on doors, windows, type of finishing, whether it's granite or this or that, you know, your tiling, everything. Shasne spent over 5 years in office, Albert Fridges. Up to now, he does not have a drawing of anything. He does not have a drawing of any police headquarters. He has no plan of any police headquarters that he can show anybody. He does not have any plan of any courthouse. But Shasta already know how much it would cost.
You said he doesn't have a drawing of anything. But the man had his renderings, huh?
You know,
the man had his renderings?
The man has no plan.
But he didn't rendering. You didn't see the rendering? I mean, I know that's not what you're talking about. You're talking about a drawing.
A drawing.
You're talking about technical drawing.
Technical drawing, which would tell you how much steel is in there, how much blah, 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 and then you do your quantities.
But he didn't need that because there was never any intention to build anything.
Exactly. You spent over 5 years. You never even prepared drawings. You never even prepared plans. You prepared absolutely nothing. But you know what it would cost to build something you have no drawings for. Shasta VX, sir.
Who told him that anyway?
Go back with that.
According to King Jaffe. Who told you that?
You know, crap. And some people will believe that. Some people will believe that. That is the heights of stupidity.
Just pull that out of thin air.
You know.
And see.
We would have built police headquarters and 6 courts. That would cost X amount. You know. Shasta, you need to stop. You are taking your lies and dishonesty to a different level. Folks, take a listen to Shasta.
Let us hear from the leader of the parliamentary opposition, who has taken issue with that matter as well.
You're going to now do a halls of justice. I want us to understand this. Those of us who drive up north and see the old Daher Mall, I think they call it the Orange Crescent building. That building is 100,000 square feet. The 3 floors. It's like 33,000 square feet per floor. So I want you to pick up that building, okay? And put it now in Constitution Park. And add 1 more floor. That is the size of the halls of justice they put in there. Pardon. It cannot be. How does that make sense? And the building is going to cost, with the interest, 300 million EC dollars for a house of justice. And we were building a police headquarters and the courts, 6 courts, for half that price. In fact, less than half the price. And it was going to be where the police headquarters is now. And you had the old Farron's Dairy entrance. You had the entrance by Brazil Street. And then you had the entrance and exit by by where Coca-Cola factory is. Ideal place. You don't even put it out to bid. We're going to wait for them to pile and for the damage to be done? No! Sapabo!
Translates in English to that not good.
Even Timothy Polly want to laugh at Chastity. You know, and Chastity is not Orange Crescent, it's Orange Grove. It's Orange Grove. Uba même connaît non, uba connaît non. You know, Shasta would say it doesn't make sense because he would prefer us renting from his father. It will cost us $300 million. He said it will cost us $300 million with interest. And he said that with interest softly. You would build.
He has credentials in the construction industry.
The man was a farmer. He had FAR-15. Eh?
Well, yes.
The man has credentials in all walks of life.
Yes.
All.
If he chooses.
And he becomes an authority immediately.
An authority on it. Okay.
Sapabo. You know, they would build a police headquarters on 6 courts. Not one of them have working drawings. Not one of them have quantities. Not one of them have approvals. All he can show is renderings and tell you how much you would build it for. Jesus Christ. You know, Shastney, Bertil, my sister, sorry, Bertil, close your eyes. I know you don't like me to call Shastney a liar, but he's a compulsive, unequivocal, and dishonest liar. You know, he is. He is. You are going to build for her. Where are the working drawings? Sauka bill la. Ki sauka bill. Mutome sauka bill. Ek na du kome ka ekute. In your head, over 5 years you spent in office, we were going to build. You know, who did the costing? Let me ask him a couple questions, Albert. Who did the costings? Where are the plans? Now, the person that did the costings, I want that person to do a costing of a house I have in my mind. I have a house in my mind. I don't have a drawing, but cost it for me. Shastney, you take the cake. You take the cake. You take the cake. Go ahead, Albert.
No, I just think that he said this thing which somebody taught him, obviously, sapabon, right? By the way, let me applaud you, Creole, sapabon.
Sapabon, yeah.
But Richard, he has not told us what about its kipabon. He has not. I listened to him there, and he has not said what it is. He says, for instance, the floor space is going to be more than the diamond.
But I don't even know why he made reference to that. I'm lost. I'm baffled.
So if the floor space is more, what is the problem?
That means we have more space. That's all.
Yeah. What's the problem with the floor space being more? Then he speaks of the piling. What do you know about piling? I don't know much about piling. I mean, I've got a workman's, just a working knowledge of piling. But I would not think of myself as some authority on piling.
Oh, he knows about
right?
piling.
But he knows about piling.
I don't know if it's the kind of piles they put in the ground, though.
And he come in and talk about the church. Yeah, he's trying to bring the clergy into this thing, He's trying to bring the clergy into his argument. And that the piling is going to affect the church and this and that. What do you know about piling, my brother?
This man, honestly, But you know what's worse? Shasta said that it will cost us $300 million. I want you to play that short clip from Evarista Jamari 3 times to me, please. Play it 3 times.
The facility is a turnkey operation to be built at a fixed price of $143 million. The facility is a turnkey operation to be built at a fixed price of $143 million. The facility is a turnkey operation to be built at a fixed price of $143 million.
Somebody just said, Black Boy, that the date on the show, it shows 10th of October. Eh? I beg your pardon? All right, regularize that. You all heard this, folks. And Shasta compares the Orange Grove to the Hall of Justice. Orange Grove is 1 building. The Hall of Justice would be comprised of 2 buildings with a pedestrian carriageway over the street. But he wants to compare them. He says it will cost $300 million. We heard Jamari, who's the chairman of NIC, say that it will cost $143 million. I don't know why Shasta just keeps lying and lying to the people of this country. You know, everybody know you are a renowned liar. Everybody know that, but where you get that $300 million from? You almost double it. And you know what? The man has the audacity, the guts, the gall to talk about not putting things out to tender. Are we hearing properly?
The man made the tenders board defunct during his term.
Both central and departmental. There was no tenders board in Shasta's time. Guy Joseph awarded 30 direct awards in 1 day. I still have all of them. 30, totaling in excess of $12 million in 1 day. Today you have the audacity to talk about direct awards. You have given the most direct awards in the history of prime ministership of this country. You know, you didn't put it out to tender. Our 2 biggest projects in this country are the airport and St. Jude. None of which he put out to tender. None of which he put out to tender. But today, 11 days before you left, 11 days before the people kick you out, you gave a direct award of $70 million.
To?
I can't remember.
Okay, but not a still finish. A fresh start.
Yes. You know, and today you have the audacity to talk about direct award, man. You know, come on, man. Come on. Like Trump, he might have the concept of a plan. Somebody says, Kalik Sons, good night. You know.
But I figure.
Somebody said Alan has not mastered the English. It's unfair to expect him to speak Creole. Oh, Lord. If you think illiteracy is a problem, try a half-educated person. I attribute that to Guy Joseph. Yeah, I see quite a few people on my phone. Bobby Maitland, good night to you. Good night to Ada, Andres, Rufus, and all the others. Good night. Boo Hinkson, good night to you. Good night to Elros. Good night to you. Rossi Cow, Rossini, and all the others who have given me a nudge on my phone. Secure, good night. The birthday bash went well yesterday. Hey, Gerald Joseph, it was your birthday. Boss J, your birthday was in the house. Peter Rene, over in Canada, good night to you. Peter already, when you send that to me, I'll read it. He gave me a direct award for the Bel Air Bridge of 340. When I did the math, it should have costed 1.4 million. I took a loan to build the bridge and could not pay it back. Oh, Jeff Stewart was the accountant maybe you were
Jeff
looking
Stewart,
for.
yes.
Yeah. Yeah, but folks, that is what it is. And today, this man has the gall. This man has the gall to speak of direct awards, man. Kenny, for 5 years, gave 251 direct awards in 5 years. Guy gave 30 direct awards in one day. Do the math. If you have to 30 by 30, that would be 900 in 1 month. More than Kenny gave in 5 years. You have done everything, like you rightly said. You obliterated the need for both departmental and central board tenders boards. And now you want to come and talk about direct award? Shazde, you suffer too acutely from autism. That's your problem. You know, you are taking your autism to a different level. You gave Guy Joseph, I don't know if you were complicit in what he was doing, but why on earth would Guy Joseph act as Prime Minister for 1 day? For 1 day, and out of convenience, 30 direct awards are there to be signed. 30, not 1 or 2, 30. And within that 8-hour window of work, obviously, he can sign 30, like whole day just there signing, you know? And then you want to talk about direct awards. Now, Guy Joseph calling our Prime Minister retarded. What do you think of that, Albert? Daniel Thomas, what do you think of that? Leave you out of it.
Richard, you really think we ought to pay much attention to Guy Joseph?
No.
Because the thing is, Philip J. Pierre, right? The man, Philip J. Pierre did not buy any qualifications, Richard. Philip J. Pierre went through the grind.
Okay, hold on there. Now, Guy Joseph have, as you say, buy qualifications. I have a couple questions for Guy Joseph. Guy Joseph, how did you get your degree from Monroe? Guy Joseph, do you know the lady in the rent-a-car business? Guy Joseph, did she assist you in doing the work? I'm asking. Because she said already, once you get a vex, she's exposing you. You all. It's not you alone. It's not you alone. She's exposing you all. She will say how much she was paid and what she did. Massive sis halfway. But I'm asking you a couple questions. Did anybody assist you in doing the work? And you are looking at Philip J. Pierre. You are looking at a graduate of the University of the West Indies. One who graduated with honors and calling him retarded. You're right to call him retarded. You're right to call him retarded because Alan was smart when he never gave the 6 opposition members any of the resources of the state for their constituency. But guess what? Philip J. Pierre, in his good conscience, is sharing the pie to ensure that opposition members get resources. So you have a right to call him retarded. You damn right guy. But you could never be as bright as Philip Joseph Pierre. Never.
Please, Richard, please. Come on now. You're making a comparison?
You know, you calling the man retarded? You calling the man... So, wait. Alan was smart when he deprived the 6 opposition members. Bradley himself opened his mouth in Parliament and says he gets $100,000 a quarter for the 13 quarters. 14 now. 14 quarters. We're middle of the...
We're into the 4th. Yeah.
For the 14 quarters, he has been in Parliament since Philip J. Pierre took over. That would be 14 by 100, $1.4 million. And another 100 and something. So Bradley, in that short space, has been allocated over $1.5 million. Shasta even more. Shasta even more. And that has nothing to do with education and other allowances. So you're right to call him retarded. You damn right, guy. You're right. You're right.
Yeah.
But neither you nor your leader, neither, in fact, none of you in the United Workers' Party, you understand the kind of candidates you're attracting? Zot Pakawe quality candidates, not? Huh? According to Rufus Busquet, how can you ever dream of forming a government with this? And you want to call a man who's basking in intelligence retarded. Guy, woe be unto you. Woe be unto you. But I'll not play this clip now. You remember the lady calling and saying that you have a price to pay? You'll pay for what you see. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying that, I mean, if you're looking for a smart man, you know when they say smart man, street business, smart man? Well, guys are a lot smarter than Philip JPA. Yeah. We know that.
Street smart.
Yeah, smart man, street business, right? Smart man. But if you're talking about intelligence, and so on, for the academic world, you're talking about you're on another level now.
I could never forget the bus drivers had an association and were collecting funds.
And they had a smart man.
And the man was the sole signatory to the checking account.
That is smart man. That is what I'm talking about, smart man.
Guy Joseph, when I went in there as the people's lawyer, I said, but how on earth can all of you all be putting money into an account and Guy is the sole signatory? Vete. Russell, good night. I understood you assisted somebody. I'm not saying no. Margaret, and good night to you in New York. Good night, Margaret, over in New York. Your kids and grandkids are saying good night. So, what do you laugh at, Russell Lake?
No. I'm still on guy being smart man, being soul signal.
Yeah, man. So the fellas asked me to come and represent them and blah, blah, blah. Trenton, good night to you. So I gone there and I'm the lawyer. And, all of them paying. And if they don't pay, guy calling them up and as president and so come and
pay your tithes.
Guys, so I asked, who are the? I didn't ask who is. I asked who are the signatories. Yeah. They say it's Guy Joseph MacArthur, you have MacArthur. You heard that? That's smart man back. That's smart man. Yeah, Johnny Cyril, we got it. It was Jeffrey. Jeff Stewart. We got it already.
And Jeff used to give up his time
to assist us.
Yes.
And then you're telling me you want to come now and spend Wototo money.
Yes.
Of taxpayers' money.
To
foreign and young. Anyway, Albert, we'll end at 11.
Thank you.
11 is 1 hour on. We'll take a couple calls until 11. 4533911. Black boy, you don't have to put the foot off the hook, so big I had 11 o'clock with me. 4533911. I think we have our first caller on the. Oh, Black boy lost the call already, or so he says. I beg your pardon? Oh, okay. We have a call on the line, right? Genetech, okay. What my general wellness programs accomplish with respect to employees and better work. Okay. So, okay. I will deal with that next week. I can assure you. Assignment. Okay.
There's an issue with the line.
The audio. Martin Philogen, good night to you, my brother. Good night. Okay, look the assignments. I was just sent the 2 assignments Guy was given. The 2 assignments he was given. I have them on my phone. So we will not look at them now. We will look at them subsequently. Brian Ogis, good night to you. What's wrong with the phone? We have a caller now. Folks, our phone line is giving some problems. Okay, tell Fridge's guys not street smart. Unlike self-made men like Richard Frederick.
Hello?
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, Cornelia Jacob. I suspect you...
Why do you always do that?
Because you
always put me on the spot. So tonight I'm putting you on the spot.
Put me on the spot.
Let me tell you something. Good night, Mr. Albert Fridges.
Good night, Cornelia.
Do you think it is possible for me to secure your services on behalf of my friend?
On behalf of which friend?
Not you. I want your services. I want Mr. Fridges to represent my friend for me, my friend Black Boy. Because Richard does really must keep you on the man.
Hey, Black Boy,
Black Boy, good for himself.
Black Boy, they laughing. Black Boy, they laughing. Black Cornelia. Black Boy, they say, Cornelia, but them Sam.
Black Boy, good for himself.
Today the man was in for the man tired, that's all. I got you not defending the man, but hello.
Cornelia, you just want to put Black Boy business out?
Yeah.
Pardon?
You just want to put Black Boy business out?
No, Black Boy was working. He was working in the church. So, let me tell you something. Do you know how disrespectful it is to refer to somebody
as retired
as the R word?
Yeah.
I thought there were some children in church today from the Special Education Center, right? They attended Mass, La Marguerite Mass, today. These children are referred to as differently abled.
Yes.
These are children back in the day when I was a child, we would have referred to them as retarded. And today we cannot call them retarded. We have to call them differently abled. And we have. But you know what's worse, what hurt me today? Tonight, actually. What's his name? The man who was caught in the web, right? He was on a talk show, right? Saying emboldeningly that he referred to the Prime Minister as ridiculous. And if you have to refer to him as any other name, he's going to do that. Can you believe the level, Richard? The new WP, Sambo, has gone to.
Yeah, they're going very low. They're going very low. They go very low now.
That's not low anymore, Richard. Let me tell you, you can't even put that in the. We have the cemetery in Latuni. Father Costel had identified them. Some of them that's too far. He called it St. Vincent. You know, that's the ones where you a little closer to Lazarus Private Cemetery, right? He called it St. Vincent. The other one, he gave it another name. That is lower than the holes in the cemetery, man. That's a Richard. Bye bye.
Okay, Cornelia. Yeah, but that's a real low blow for true, eh? Robinson Ferdinand, good night to you. And you're right. UWP has gone to a level it has never been before. I mean, in the days of Sir John Henry Girardi, you would not find that kind of attitude being manifested in the United Workers' Party within rank and file at all. We have another caller. Good night. Can I help you?
Richard, good night.
Good night.
Première fois, je me connais la chose. Gagner le Prime Minister, Richard a dit qu'il est pour amener l'audience.
Moi d'accord avec ça.
Il est pour amener l'audience. On va gagner top shot.
Moi d'accord avec ça. Moi d'accord avec ça.
C'est la première fois que je connais la chose.
Merci. Merci.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, bonsoir.
Who too? You see, people who have never called are calling now to express their disgust about the calling of the Prime Minister by Guy Joseph a retarded. You see, and
I tell you. I tell you.
No, that person has the... Caller, could you turn down the volume of your radio or television, please? The person is still there.
Telephone to listen to the show. Come on.
Hey.
I want to refer to a statement that was made during the how you call it, the naming of the two candidates that they had in the boulevard.
Yeah.
The chairman made a statement stating that, and he kind of tried to use Comrade Stevenson King, and I thought he almost mentioned you as being people that was in the UWP that was not trusted, but want to say that the new members would have to be submit themselves to the king.
He said that?
He didn't say king, but I'm using it now to say
yes,
that any government or leader that want people to submit to them, they are running a kingdom. And I want to say to St. Lucian, Trump has gone mad on it, Putin is mad on it, and there are a few others who have their own kingdom. We don't want no kingdom in St. Lucia. We don't want nobody. And I want to tell Champagne, I heard he said something that nobody would stop him from saying what he wants to say. He better say, praise God that he was not elected, because he would have had to submit himself to the king.
Yes, indeed.
And I'm warning the young people who are trying to join the United Workers' Party. You have a voice. You must be given opportunity to speak, and all the others, including Guy Joseph. And Guy Joseph during the next week, Guy Joseph and the PRO try to bring back this white thing. We're going to tell them something, I want to say that something to them. You see, white, I have white blood in me. But we don't want to refer to Chasney as white. We want to refer to Chasney as a stupid, foolish, uneducated politician, and he himself has no place in the politics of St. Lucia, and all of them can pack up and go, because all they are doing is to confusing people who are already confused. They're 42% who are already confused. They are confusing them more and more, and they'll be giving us too much trouble to re-educate them. My brother, have a blessed night.
Thank you. I mean, it's really something else when you hear the guys are going low. I'm listening to Guy. How can growth be negative? Pa allegro ba grow. Kimanye grow ka aba. And you know, it is that kind of ignorance that's perpetuated.
The economist in Guy.
Yeah, the economist in him, because he's another one that's an authority. There's negative growth. It's an expression in the study of economics.
Yes, indeed.
But he will not know that because he has never written an exam in any of those disciplines. We have a caller on the line. Good night, can I help you? Good night, can I help you? Okay, let's take the last call. Cut off that person, please. Folks, when you're calling, please be attentive to your telephone and at least try to lower the volume of your television before calling, because it causes a lot of disturbance. We'll take our final call. I think we have our final caller on the line. Okay, 4533911 is our number here. We will await a final call. You sure that last person is not still on? Okay, we have a caller. Good night, can I help you? Your final caller.
Hello, Mr. Frederick.
Yes, good night.
Mr. Frederick.
Yes.
Hello.
Hey, hello.
Yeah, Robert Alexander.
Hey, all right, Coney.
Yeah,
All right, how are you?
I fell asleep, I wake up there and I see the show going now. I said, let me give you a shout, man.
Yeah. All right, I shouted you earlier.
So I go tell my with him above the party, Shmega.
Oh, they're above the party? Okay, but enjoy comme moi en Valley dimanche.
Moi viens garder pour ma wow.
Ah, ouais, des parties. Naiko Cashton, un domino. Naiko Cashton, di Massimo Devli.
Good night, man.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, good night, sir. Good night.
It's up here, good night.
Good night, sir.
Yeah.
All right.
Good night, name on your show, man.
All right, thank you.
I enjoy your show, you know, man.
All right. Okay. But Anson, you're calling me and you're calling me video. All right. Okay. Okay, Robert.
Yeah, because I wanted to show you us, Yadi, and all of us in New York having a nice time on your show.
But I can't. I will not be able to see it.
I'm Yadi. Richard.
Yadi Saudi, I would like to show her. All right.
That's one of the owners. Good to meet you.
All right, nice.
We're gonna take it to party like a New York style. Yeah.
Very well. Enjoy yourselves, you guys. Oh. Yeah, but that is all right. But that is and St. Maxwell, Yadi, and all the others over in New York enjoying themselves. Yes, man.
So Yadi is not on tomorrow then?
Yadi upa on them matin then. More wrestling. Let me see if I can show.
Yes, sir. Mula, I expressed condolences to you earlier.
Thank you. I was following you.
All right.
We just wanted to be on the show with you all for a few minutes. That's all we wanted to do.
Wonderful. The irrepressible Anson Maxwell.
All right. All right.
Our champions are with us. We have the cruiserweight champion, heavyweight champion. We're going to see now. We're having a ball.
All right.
Will you be wrestling, Anson? Anson, will you be wrestling?
No,
you see what you're saying there?
Will you be wrestling, Anson?
All right, Anson, we have to run now. So we'll talk. Okay, take care. Bye-bye.
Yes. Yeah.
Guys are having a good time. Yadi's over in New York, and so they organize a wrestling team. And tonight was their first outing.
So will Yadi be wrestling?
No, I think he'll be wrestling to leave New York.
I would like to see that one of those big guys body slam Anson, man.
No. Anson is part of management, one of the owners, the co-owners of the
sometimes management gets a little body slam, no?
No. In that case, I would want Alan in management. Folks, I think we have had it. Albert, closing words?
Yes, indeed. I think I had fun. Honestly.
Yeah, we always do.
Yes, we always do. So, but I think we touched on some poignant subjects tonight.
Yes.
There's a lot more to talk about. As I told you, there's
next week we'll deal with that specific thing. Yes.
So thanks very much, folks, for joining us. Those of you who did not get a shout out, we try to spread the shout outs around and so on, because we know that people like to get a little, and we know we've got lots of people who are tuning in.
I know, we know that. Somebody just indicated to me that Jaime is in Canada, and that came from Peter the Great. And anything Peter the Great tells you, you can take it to the bank because he's in Canada himself. Kello, good night to you. Folks, I think this is it here. So that means there is no
Zafenu.
Unless it will be hosted by Shelton.
Oh yeah, that's a possibility.
Probably.
Yes.
So I don't want to say categorically, look, they just sent me a picture of Jaime eating, oh Lord. All right, Peter agreed. Folks, as I've always said, if God has blessed you, no one can curse you. Live clean, because what you sow, you are bound to reap. We all have faults. We all have faults. Because, even the Bible says so. For all have sinned
and come short of the glory. Don't do us yesterday.
All I've seen and come shut up the glory of God.
Yes.
Look, that I can't believe I can't remember. What's that? Romans 3:23.
Say the Lord's Prayer.
How is that in our Father who art in heaven?
Hallowed
be thy name. But no. It's the national anthem. Is the other one.
Yes.
But it takes away from the St. Lucianness that one needs to have to lead St. Lucians, because somebody sent me something in Deuteronomy, and it actually says, the Bible says that men shall be led by one of their own and one of the members of their tribe, and not by others. And that is the problem we found ourselves in. We were being led by somebody who did not have the interest of St. Lucians at heart. Let's hope it has been changed. Let's hope that change sees longevity, and that those persons who lack St. Lucianness will not be permitted to lead St. Lucia ever after. Even when I'm gone to the great beyond, the ants may bring me the news and say to me, look, we are doing well. It's been 100 years since this has happened, and it doesn't seem likely again. If you lack St. Lucianness, you cannot lead St. Lucia. So, folks, as I've always said, if God has blessed you, no one can curse you. Live clean, because what you sow, you are bound to reap. I'm Richard Frederick, out of here. See you next Thursday, God willing. Good night.
Looking for certified specialists in motor vehicle inspections and evaluations? Check us at K&M Garage, located in Massad, Grizzly. We also specialize in motor vehicle damage assessment reports, body